Hey, what's this scene? I am Reon, and this is Reese Teas. This is Reese Teas. And this is Reese Teas. And this is Reese Teas. Welcome to Reese Teas, where we have conversations that matter with people who care. Join me as I connect and reconnect with new and old friends as we sip tea, spill tea, and catch up on everything that's going on in their lives and in the world. So like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you never miss a single drop. Today, in commemoration of World AIDS Day, I am joined today by a guest who's going to help us dissect some of the common misconceptions still surrounding HIV and AIDS today, and particularly to discuss the You versus You campaign. Please give a Reese Teas welcome to Dion Gill. Hey Dion.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. All right, so Dion, can you tell us about your background in HIV and AIDS advocacy and awareness?
Right. So how I got started in being an HIV advocate is I started basically as a driver, helping a friend of mine because they paid me to drive them around, and basically be transport. It was for a project that Family Planning was doing, dealing with the sexual health of sex workers, both male and female, and seeing the prevalence of domestic violence in sex workers as well.
Okay.
Right? So those that they hired weren't really necessarily doing their job. They were trying to fight with the sex workers. They were saying that I don't want to talk to them, I'm feeling uncomfortable, but I'm saying if you're hired for the job, you applied for the job, you hired for the job.
You knew what the job entails, do the job.
I was hired for a driver, so I'm driving. So from that, me being a very outgoing person and just say, I just want to get over this. And I don't want to stay long outside because it's a quick little money as a driver. I said, well, okay, let me go. I will help because I want to help my friend get his data, his information, so that he could do his job. So I said, okay, I'll help. So I went to the sex workers, I asked them these questions, I got the data, I made friends, I got to know a lot of them, I got to know how it is and why it is they came into sex work and the violence that they do experience. It was kind of like an awakening for me.
Okay.
So that's why I kind of got into it. And from there, I've been just building from there.
So how long would you say you've been working in HIV and AIDS awareness, and in what capacity are you doing so now?
Right, so I've been doing it for about roughly, professionally, for between 4 to 6 years. And in the capacity that I'm working now is currently I am I'm a certified HIV testing and counselor. I'm also certified from the University of Washington for HIV management. I also have my bachelor's degree in psychology, and I'm almost finished on my master's in counseling psychology. I've also received training from family planning, with stigma, discrimination, all the things that are associated with sex work, HIV, STDs, as well as currently I'm working with MRF, one of the HIV treatment centers, doing a mental health program to promote mental health in HIV positive men, where not because they have HIV doesn't mean you neglect your
health in general,
your health in general, basically. So you want to do prostate exams, mental health, all these things that men go through. We're doing that currently. I am currently doing that with them to build that program.
Understood. So Dion, as you're well aware, December the 1st is World AIDS Day, and it's a day that helps to raise awareness surrounding the disease and also encouraging education around the disease and for people to go and get tested. Many years ago, HIV and HIV diagnosis was generally received as a death sentence.
Yeah.
Today in 2020, we know that is not the truth. In 2019, the oldest living person then with HIV was 100 years old, and they passed away at the age of 100. So with that in mind, what do you think is now the biggest misconception surrounding the disease?
The biggest misconception still is that once you get HIV, you die. Your life stops.
Okay.
Basically, still people still face that idea that once you get HIV, your life stops. The life doesn't stop. It just takes a new road, and that's what I try to promote. Don't see HIV as a death sentence. Your life has to adjust in a new way, in a new mind that you didn't think of it happening. But that's life in general. Life gives you different barricades, different roads. So that you have to choose to adjust to this road that you're going to. It's just like you're going to change your job. You have to adjust to that new job environment. If you go to a new place to live, you have to adjust to that new place that you're going to live in. If you go to a new school, moving from secondary to college, that's a life adjustment that you have to go through. So I try to tell people it's not the end. It's just a new beginning or a life
adjustment. I've never heard it put quite that way before, and I think I'm gonna steal that. I'm definitely gonna steal that.
I'll too.
I'll coach. So as I was saying before, there have been lots of advancements in the treatment of HIV and AIDS, but also there have been advancements in the prevention of HIV and AIDS. Now, one of those advancements was the introduction of PrEP, which is pre-exposure prophylaxis. For the members of our audience who may not have heard of it before, can you briefly explain to them what that is?
Right. Well, PrEP is basically a tablet that you can take. Well, there's two ways of taking PrEP. You can take it between 2 to 24 hours before you have sex, or you take it every day until it depends on your sexual life. If you don't have sex every day, or if you're having sex every day, there's a way to take it. So it depends on that. What PrEP is basically, as you said, a preventative method. So it actually kills the virus before it can take over any of your blood cells, your white blood cells in your body. So that's what it does. It prevents it from attacking. So once PrEP is there, you have to kind of continuously do it. For me personally, I more prefer the everyday, that you take it every day, so that you have a continuous.
It's part of your routine, and you're used to it versus having to think that, oh God, I'm going and tomorrow. I'm going and do the big people. Understood. Members of the audience may not know is that though PrEP is widely available abroad, it isn't available here. Now, in an interview with the Sunday Guardian dated December 13, 2019, the health minister was quoted as saying the following. In an interview with the Sunday Newsday on Wednesday, Dion explained that the government provided for post-exposure. For example, he said if a healthcare worker accidentally got stuck with a needle, or in a case of sexual assault, or a chance of contracting the virus was suspected, the people involved were given treatment. PrEP is to give drugs to people before exposure or with no exposure to HIV. It means that knowingly you are going to engage in some sort of behavior that would cause you to be at a higher risk of getting HIV, and you want to take a drug to prevent yourself from getting HIV. That is not government policy. That is available in the private sector. It's as simple as that. So Dion, I just read to you the minister's quote. Do you think that PrEP should be available in the public sector? Why or why not?
In the public sector, maybe not. Because at the end of the day, the government has to supplement those drugs with, and that's just a more drain on the economy. But what you can do is make it available in the private sector. This way, whatever price that the drugstore wants to advertise, that's up to them. But
so is it that currently PrEP isn't available in the public sector or the private sector?
Correct. It's not available totally in Trinidad and Tobago.
As in one cannot currently walk into a pharmacy and purchase PrEP?
Correct.
Why? And do you think it should be?
I don't know why, but
okay.
but from his stance, he's like, he don't want it available here. From his quote, it seems to me like he doesn't want it available at all in Trinidad and Tobago. But I think it should be available. Let the people decide what is right for them. It is a precautionary measure for for safe sex that is endorsed by CDC. So why not? It can be made into a holistic thing for safe sex. So we have PrEP, condom use, and one partner and all of that. So make it into one whole thing. So and then
it's another layer of protection that one can add to protect themselves. So why not have it be available, since HIV and AIDS are still lifestyle diseases that do plague our population? I feel as though if it is, yes, I can abstain, yes, I can be faithful, yes, I can condomize, yes, I can get tested, yes, I can get educated, yes, I could have one partner, but here's another option that's available to me to protect myself. And even if it is, you don't want to make that a burden on the government, on taxpayers and the public sector. If I want to take that personal responsibility to protect myself with my own funds, let me.
Correct. And
okay.
That is my view of it, yes. Right? But I think he should allow PrEP to be in the country, even if he don't want it in the public, let it be allowed privately. I know it's available, I think it's now available in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
I know Barbados have it, and I think, I'm not too sure, but I think Suriname does it as well. Those are the Caribbean countries that I know about. Brazil and the States, they do it, so it's like, and it's been working there. The HIV rates have been going down. The only difference is STDs has risen. So that's why I promote that even if you're taking PrEP,
take it while using other preventative measures. Absolutely.
Yes, use a condom because PrEP don't protect from STDs.
From other STDs.
Realize that as well. Exactly.
Another method to prevent the transmission of HIV is for HIV positive patients to become undetectable. This is part of the U=U campaign, which I know you're very passionate about. One, help my audience members to understand what does it mean to be undetectable, and two, what that would mean for the person's sex part.
So U is basically, again, it demonstrates that with HIV treatment, it is highly effective in reducing the transmission of HIV from one person to another. This is done on a 20-year study done by CDC. So there's research, there's facts, there's results. So it's not something that somebody came up with. It's been proven that with treatment, there is a possibility of not transferring the virus from your partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why I promote this is because a lot of people think once you get HIV, again, that's it. Again, it's not that. Once you take care of yourself, you can live your life as you go. You can continue living your life. Just take your medication, do what you have to do, and continue. And you can live your normal sex life as you're accustomed to, just probably more safely. Because now, even though you have HIV and you're undetectable, there's still a risk of STDs out there that
of contracting other STDs. From these studies, has any person who is undetectable ever transmitted HIV to someone else?
No. From the research that I've seen, I haven't seen any of it where a person who been undetectable transmit, unless they stop their medication and their viral load goes up.
And then they're no longer undetectable, yeah.
They're no longer correct. And they transfer the virus to their partner who is negative.
Now, there's one more question I'd love to ask you. It's also a bit of a controversial topic locally. Well, currently, sex ed isn't taught in schools here in Trinidad and Tobago. Do you think it should be? Why or why not?
Yes, it should be, because we have 15-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 16-year-olds having children and having sex, and they're more exposed to sex because of the internet. So I think, instead of getting the information from porn, movies, magazines, social media,
and your little friends and them.
Yeah, and your little friends and them. Your mothers always say that your little friend and them.
Your little friend and them.
Instead of getting it from there and getting the wrong information, get the right information from persons who are trained in doing it. Because sex is more open than before, sex is more accessible than before. All it takes is a click of your phone, click of a laptop, click of a computer, click of whatever, and sex is there right in your face. It's easy accessible. So I think, yes, sexual education needs to start. I need to start in primary schools, not even secondary schools. Primary schools, like at least from standard 4, standard 5, because when they go into secondary school, they are going into a new area of persons who are 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So they would be an influence on you as a young 12-year-old, 13-year-old coming.
Understood. So you prepare this young child who's about to enter this school environment with these older children who probably already know about it and already doing it, so that they enter with information. So that if I in Form 1, you can't come in Form 6 and tell me nothing about sex. I ain't learned about that in Form 4. I already know. Okay.
I already know, so you can't tell me what it is. I already know, and I know what this is. I know what a penis is and a vagina is. I know what my anus is. And I know what they can do, what they can't do. I know what infections are. I know what HIV are. I know what STDs are. I'm informed. I know what teenage pregnancy is, what it can do to your body. I know it's there. So you start them from young, so they have the information. So once they reach any environment, they could work to see.
And you would craft that information and package it in such a manner that a child in that age bracket can receive it and understand it.
Yes.
Understand.
I cannot do it personally. but
let the experts do what they do.
Let the experts do that.
Trust me, I respect that.
For me personally, I can talk to a teenager about sex, or talking to a 12-year-old. I don't know how to relay that information to a 12-year-old. Because the same way you talk to an 18-year-old is not the same way you go and talk to a 12-year-old.
Absolutely.
So you need to have ways and means of describing their sexual function, and as well as just growing into maturity. From a child to a teen, your body goes through changes. What do these changes mean?
Absolutely.
A young girl who's moving from going to having no menstruation to now experience menstruation, and then you have children laughing at her because she's bleeding for no reason. She's bleeding and she don't know why she's bleeding. And
right.
It's a lot of, and for boys, when their body starts to change, their boys start to get heavy, they start to get more body. They want like, okay, I'm accustomed to being this type of way. Why am I changing into this type of way? Or for a young man now who is having wet dreams. Why am I having these wet dreams all of a sudden?
Absolutely, and you don't understand what's going on, and people come from different households with different backgrounds. Their parents may have a different education background from them, or their parents would have come generationally from households where these conversations weren't had. So your period came, your mother carried Pennywise, buy a pack of pads, say, hey girl, oh, this is a woman now, and moved on and didn't explain to you what this meant for you and your body and your reproductive capabilities. And similarly, a little boy starts to have a dream to your mother doing your lunch. She said, why your shit smelling so? And kept it rolling, and there was never a conversation about what this means for you and your body. So correct. I absolutely agree. Likewise, for me, I always respect letting experts do what they do, and I never put myself in the place of an expert to say, well, I know and I think it should be done X, Y, Z way. So I agree with you. The people with the know-it-all should be allowed to draft that curriculum and deliver it. But I also do think that sex education should be taught in schools, and the message should be rather than just abstain. Because I went to Catholic school, and that was the message.
Abstain don't work.
Yeah?
Abstain only works when you're adult and you know who you are, and you've discovered who you are and what you want for your own self.
And you realize that
that is not. Yeah, I'm not gonna put my body through that for no waste of time, man or woman. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not gonna do that.
But it takes you a while to come to that.
But with proper training from early, it can come much faster.
It can come much faster.
And these things can also help with the reduction of HIV, the reduction of teenage pregnancy, the reduction of STDs, the reduction of rape, the reduction of domestic violence. Like all these things happen because when you do sex education, there is one that they train you to say how to say no. Because some men and women don't know how to say no. when they're
True.
doing advanced tasks. All they need is like, oh God, leave me alone now. And the person, be it man or woman, to be thinking they're just playing hard to get. If you come out and say, no, I don't want this, then they get to the person who is making the advance can get the message straight that okay, this person does, she's not flirting, he's not flirting, they don't want this advance.
I absolutely love that. I didn't even think about that. That a very important part of that sexual education curriculum and one of the major buzzwords of 2019, I know we're in 2020, but it was a big thing in 2019, is that whole idea of consent. And I do think that a major part of rape culture, and that's a different conversation for a different day, is the fact that a lot of young men grow up thinking that they are entitled to a woman's body, and a denial of consent is an affront to them, and they then become violent and aggressive. Dion, I really enjoyed chatting with you. Is there any message you'd like to leave the Breezy's viewers with?
Yes. Well, it was nice being here, and I had a good cup of tea as well. You know, one, tea is life, and you know, if you become positive with HIV, remember it's not the end of the road. It's just another road that you have to take, and you just have to make adjustments. HIV is just another life adjustment, like anything in life, as well as stop having the stigma and discrimination of persons living in with HIV. You don't know what happened, because it could be because they get raped, because they were born with it, because of somebody who did not know that they had HIV infected them. It could be a one night thing. It could be a drunken experience. There's so many things. It's not because you're having sex with a lot of persons. It could just take one bad night. That's all it is. So instead of thinking that somebody is quote unquote a hoe, think about the other aspects of how a person can get HIV. And if you was that person, how would you want person
to treat
you? Yeah, you know. So because when you hear person with HIV, the first thing they want to do is start to scorn the person, don't touch me there, don't touch me. HIV don't even spread like that. For one, it's only through sexual. Well, the main thing is through sexual contact, and not even kissing, not really so through oral, unless you have like cuts or bruises in your mouth, or the person's penis or vagina has cuts and bruises, and you do oral and you're taking their fluid, fine. But once the person is clean and they have no cuts and bruises, oral infection is like 1%, 2% is so much. But more so, just stop and ask, if this is to happen to me, how would I be treated? How would I want to be treated? And treat that person with that respect that you would want, because it only takes one night, one time, and you know, just try to make everybody's life easier, because they already have to take this tablet every day. Nobody takes, as a Caribbean person, nobody takes tablet every day for general things.
Absolutely.
So,
I've had the same bottle of vitamins outside for about a year. Much less.
Bottle with 50 tablets of vitamins can last me like six months to a year too as well. So
absolutely,
you know. So have that in your mind when you hear or suspect that someone is positive. Absolutely. Treat them with respect, because you deserve respect. They deserve respect. So that's be respectful.
And is there anywhere that my viewers can reach you? I know that you said you participate in men's counseling service. I know that you are a qualified counselor and tester. Is there anywhere that members of the Reesties community can access you, sir?
I have a number that they could call to reach me personally, but I'll probably give it.
We'll put it in the description bar below.
But they could also reach me on Instagram at the finest 1984, as well as they can reach out to PAM, which is the Patient Advocate Mission. They are a new NGO that is in Trinidad and Tobago. Their mission is to give positive persons the power and strength to say I am, which is I am positive. And I think, and the work that they do is so important that I think they will reach so far in what they do, because they give so much persons who think that HIV, that persons with HIV have such low esteem that it gives them a higher esteem to be functional in society.
Lovely. So we'll put the links to Pam's website and Pam's Instagram in the description bar below. All right. Well, thank you, Dion, and thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you never miss another episode. This was Reese Tees. Boom. Lovely. Thank you, Dion.